Cheers.
Hello, good fellas, and welcome back to another episode of Ask Tony Tuesday.
If you haven't got a clue, Tony's got the answer for you.
I've got Tony here, and I've got questions for you today.
And I have answers.
Okay. I didn't know what to say. First question of the day.
Okay, I'm ready.
What is used to cut on top of in the shop?
Okay, in the shop we have these metal stands we call horses. And basically all the pieces are put on these horses to edge and polish them. But what we do differently, or maybe some shops do it, we insist on doing it this way. We set up the whole kitchen the way it's going to be in the house. We set it all up in the shop. This way, everything, all the edges are going to line up perfectly. And, because what happens is if you set up, let's say I have one guy over here on one piece, one guy on another piece, and these guys could be doing the edge, even though it's the same edge, they could be doing it differently.
Right.
And also what happens is when you're polishing edge, if you're going like this towards an end, you tend to round off that where it ends over here on the edge. So if you have two ends and you're getting slightly rounded in, or certainly going in a little bit, when you go to put that seam together later, now you got an indentation there.
Yeah, okay.
So by putting everything together, clamping it all together, even if say there's a seam there, when you polish it all the way through into the other piece, now it's all nice and straight.
Okay.
So nothing's getting rounded over, unless it's like a corner should be rounded over. But when you have two pieces meeting for where the seam is going to be, you want to make sure that's all nice and straight.
Mm.
So that's what we do. We lay out the whole kitchen on these metal horses. And the way it's laid out here is the way it's going to be laid out in the kitchen. So everything, if it fits perfectly and everything lines up perfectly here, then we know it's going to line up perfectly there.
How about on the CNC machine?
On a CNC machine, everything is, it's cut. We program everything in, and then it gets cut to the program. But then again, once it comes off the CNC machine, it goes on the horses, and then everything gets finished there.
Okay. Second question of the day.
Okay.
How do you choose the right countertop?
Choosing the right countertop, the most important thing to think of is application, where it's going. Like we've said in the past, if you're doing an outdoor kitchen, you don't want to use a quartz because it's only, the colors are dye, so they will fade in the sun. You don't want to use a granite that has a lot of big veining in it, because what happens is here in the north, we have freeze and thaw. So if water gets into a big vein, we call them sometimes they're a dry vein or a mud vein. When they get into that vein and it freezes, it expands, and you can start to have some cracks and separation. So you have to, so if I'm doing an outdoor kitchen, I always recommend a tight grain, dense granite. This way you're not going to ever worry about that situation happening. If you're doing a powder room, well, you're not going to get the same wear and tear that you would on an outdoor kitchen or even a regular kitchen. So a powder room, if you like a real marble, you can use a real marble. So it depends on where you put it, what kind of stone or what kind of quartz you want to use. That's first and foremost. Then after that, it becomes personal taste, as far as colors go, designs go. Some people like me love exotic. I think you're the same way. You like exotic. Certain people go, oh my God, I don't know if I can live with all that movement and variation every day. I want something a little bit calm, a little bit more monotone. So they tend to go with, the more uniform looking stones. But, after you get through with, where it's going and having the right stone or the right counter for the right application, then it comes down to looks. And if you're not sure, we certainly will put you in the right direction.
Yes.
We're not going to lead you blindly to something that is not going to work.
Yeah. First thing you do when you come in is we ask you what type of material you're looking for. If you have no idea, if you're not really educated on anything, we go through everything with you. We even have a little sheet that helps explain the different materials so that you can look at it while you're looking so you don't forget everything. And then from there, we will help you color match anything that you have. It's a lot easier when you bring samples in, but even without samples, we'll walk you around and help find stuff that you at least like for them, and then when you do have samples, we can match everything up and find the perfect stone for you.
And like like always, please don't you count on Google to tell you what's right. Because I look at Google like WebMD. If I go on WebMD, I have everything. I have every disease known to man.
Yeah.
So please don't rely on Google. Most of the stuff you read on Google will be wrong.
Yeah.
So I've seen brown fantasy sold as granite. I've seen fabricated stone, different materials as granite that aren't granite. Don't believe everything you read. Don't believe everything you're told. Go to a reputable place, find out, do your homework, and then come in, and I promise you that we will put you in the right direction. Whether you go with us or not, at least you'll know coming here that we're going to tell you the truth, and you're going to get what we tell you you're going to get. And even if you go somewhere else, you'll know what to ask.
Yeah, and Tony has 30 years of experience.
38 years, yeah.
Oh
Right?
yeah, more than 30 years of
God,
experience.
I'm old.
So we are always more than welcome to help. Thank you for answering our questions today, as always.
My pleasure.
Thank you guys for tuning into this week's episode. Don't forget, if you need a stone cleaner or a sealer, we do sell them here. These two bottles here, this is the sealer, this is the cleaner.
And this I really recommend. This is really good for oil. Sealers, that's the only thing I always worry about with the sealer. Even a good sealer, eventually oil can break it down if it's not cleaned up right away. This is a super advanced. This works really well on oil to keep oil from penetrating. And it's so simple to apply. You just basically wipe it on, wait 20 minutes, wipe it off. That's it.
Yeah.
So for those people that are like, oh my God, I don't want the maintenance of granite or natural stone. Well, we sell a cleaner, and it's just like wiping it down with Windex, basically.
Right.
And then we sell a sealer, which you may or may not ever have to apply again, depending on the stone you have. And if you do have to apply it, maybe once or twice, in a 2 or 3 year span, 20 minutes, come on.
Yeah, can't get any easier than that.
No.
And if you're having trouble finding products that you think will be good for your stone, we have them already picked out for you.
Yes.
So these are our favorites. That's all that we have for you guys today. Thank you for tuning into this week's episode. If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure to give it a like, comment, or share. And we will see you next week. See you later.
It's funny. Even with a cardboard cutout for me to look at,
You weren't looking
I
at it?
still didn't look at the camera. Now we can drink in style.
Bob Clark Summer.
From pina colada right now.
Do you like pina coladas?
Rachel, if we hear you talking, you're fired. Straight on. Is that the questions I gave you?
Yeah.
No. That's what I was. I was like, why am I answering this question
We can
again?
read